I have both good and, well, bad things to say. About 6 years ago, within a relatively short period of time, I bought several Uniqlo T-shirts. It was the first time I had ever purchased Uniqlo clothing. I had heard that their products were supposedly very high quality and long-lasting, so I decided to test that claim for myself. I bought one shirt first as a trial. After wearing it a few times, I liked it, and within the next month I bought the rest. I purchased every one of them personally from an official Uniqlo store, so there is no doubt that they are genuine products. 6 years have passed and the shirts have finally started to wear out. Some of them can no longer be worn, while others are still perfectly fine for anything short of a formal occasion. These are all the shirts from the original purchase period. I haven't thrown away a single one of them. Today I'd like to show you what happened to these t-shirts over the years. Why did I buy these particular models? At the time I wanted t-shirts that were practical, durable, and required as little attention as possible. I specifically chose heavyweight t-shirts because I wanted to see whether thicker fabric would actually last longer. I also didn't want to iron them. My assumption was that heavier fabric would require less ironing, and it turned out I was right. I chose colors that wouldn't show dirt easily so that I could wear them every day without worrying about keeping them pristine. That's why I didn't buy any black or white shirts. I wore these t-shirts about 3 to 5 days per week, both indoors and outdoors, throughout all 4 seasons. That means I wore this group of 6 shirts out of 7 at least, roughly 1,250 times in total, or about 200 wears per shirt. These numbers are only rough estimates, of course. I wore them under scorching summer sun and underneath winter clothing. I frequently wore them while carrying a backpack. I even ran in them a few times. In short, I didn't baby them at all. During the rest of the time I wore other t-shirts, but unfortunately I can't show those to you for comparison because they were out long ago and were thrown away. The Uniqlo shirts outlasted all of them. As for washing, I usually washed them at 50 or 60 degrees Celsius, although occasionally I used 30 degrees or even 90. I simply air dried them on a drying rack. I ironed them only a handful of times each, if that. The shirts fall into 3 categories. The main group, which I'll be focusing on today, consists of 5 heavyweight basic t-shirts of the same model. This model was manufactured in Cambodia and Taiwan. In addition, I have one t-shirt of a different model that was made in China. I bought it from the same store at the same time. Actually, I thought it was the same model, but made in China. But it turned out it was a different model. Finally, I have one oversized black t-shirt. This is a different model made in Vietnam. That one wasn't originally mine, I received it second-hand. I didn't purchase it myself, so I can't guarantee exactly when it was bought, but based on my estimates, it was probably purchased around the same period. I've personally owned it for 3 years now. The shirts I wore the most were the Cambodian/Taiwan shirts and the Vietnamese oversized shirt. I wore the Chinese-made shirt about as much as the others at first, but during the last 2 years it deteriorated very quickly. As a result, I started wearing it only under other clothes during winter, then only at home, and eventually stopped wearing it altogether because, well, So overall it received somewhat less use than the others. The oversized Vietnamese shirt was always worn much less frequently than the rest because it's significantly heavier, thicker, and feels too warm for me. So let's quickly go through each shirt and see what condition it's in today. First, green T-shirt. The fabric is in good condition overall with no structural damage. There are some stains on it, I believe I spilled acid on it at some point. The seams are in perfect condition and haven't come apart anywhere. The color itself is still in good shape and the ribbing remains elastic. There is some minor wear along the edge of the fabric though. The sleeves show significant wear around the edges. The bottom hem has 2 or 3 small damaged spots, but otherwise it's in good condition. I still wear this shirt outside. Second, green T-shirt. The fabric is in average condition and has 2 damaged areas. One was caused by my cat's claws. The other resulted from normal wear and tear. They look very similar, but the causes are completely different. The seams are in perfect condition. The color is still good, although there is noticeable wear along the edge. The sleeves are actually in slightly better condition than those of the first shirt, but edge wear is still substantial. The bottom hem is in good shape, with only a couple of minor defects. At this point, I only wear this shirt at home. Gray rust colored T-shirt. This is the shirt I wore the most because I really like the color. As a result, it's also the most worn out one. The fabric is in average condition overall. There is a tear below the collar in the front and in the back, which is simply the result of natural wear. There is also a tear on the right side near the waist. The damage came from carrying certain metal devices underneath the shirt that had sharp edges. Other than that, the fabric is still reasonably intact. The color, sleeves, and bottom hem show wear similar to the previous shirts. Unfortunately, I no longer wear this one anywhere. Blue-green T-shirt. There is damage to the fabric beneath the collar, 2 holes, and noticeable thinning of the material. There is also damage on the right side, caused by contact with the same metal equipment worn underneath the shirt. The collar, sleeves, and hem are similar to the rest of the shirts. Red T-shirt. This shirt has damage beneath the collar and on the right side near the waist. The sleeves, collar, and bottom hem are actually in slightly better condition than those of the previous shirts. The frustrating part is that the damage beneath the collar appeared very recently. I only noticed it now, actually. It definitely wasn't there the last time I wore the shirt. That's disappointing. It probably means I won't be wearing it outside anymore. The Chinese-made T-shirt. Well, you can see the results for yourself. I wore this shirt less than the others, yet it wore out significantly more. The fabric, color, sleeves, and bottom hem are all heavily worn. At one point I even tried repairing it in this part, but there wasn't much point as it turned out. The entire shirt seems to be falling apart before my eyes. The fabric itself became thin much faster than the others. I'm not trying to make any broad statements about Chinese manufacturing, but the results are right in front of you. Now the oversized black T-shirt. It's not entirely fair to compare this one to the others because I wore it much less frequently. The fabric is, it's actually softer than the others, but also denser and heavier at the same time. The fabric itself is still in decent condition, although there are 2 holes near the upper right side. My guess is that they were caused by wearing a backpack. In any case, it's normal wear and tear. The color has performed worse than the others in terms of elasticity, but better in terms of overall fabric wear. The sleeves and bottom hem show no damage. I still wear this t-shirt. Final thoughts. So, what conclusions can I draw about Uniqlo T-shirts based on this test? I'm mainly talking about the core heavyweight model made in Cambodia and Taiwan, as well as the Vietnamese-made oversized shirt. Overall, I liked them. They aren't the most comfortable shirts in the world, the fabric is quite stiff, doesn't stretch much, and the shirts is fairly heavy. During the hottest days of summer they feel warmer than lighter weight alternatives like this one. Other than that, they are excellent everyday t-shirts, practical, extremely durable and well made. As for Chinese-made shirt, this particular one was clearly worse. The quality was noticeably lower. Perhaps other Chinese-made models are better, but this one definitely wasn't so good. As for the oversized shirt, I think it's interesting from a design perspective and the quality is good. Personally, though, I just don't enjoy wearing it. It's simply too warm for me and heavy. Those are the conclusions I've come to. This experiment convinced me that Uniqlo is capable of making genuinely high-quality clothing. The basic heavyweight model in particular is excellent, and I will most likely buy it again in the future. Anyway, that's all for today. Have a great day, everyone!